Hello, I'm Lynn Onstot with the City of Joplin, and this is Joplin Insider. This is a show to bring you different programs and services that are brought to you by the City of Joplin. Today I have with me Mary Anne Phillips, the recycling coordinator for the City of Joplin. Mary Anne, I want to welcome you.
Hello.
Hello. You've been out here several times with me, and I really appreciate it. You're one of my favorite guests because you bring a lot of good information, things that a lot of people don't even know that you do out at the recycling center. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the recycling center, some of the general things, some of the things behind the scenes, as well as a special event you have coming up. So the first thing I want to ask, is there anything new going on at the recycling center?
Well, I have a new employee.
Oh.
So everybody needs to come out and say, hey,
Hayden.
Hayden.
Hey, Hayden.
Hayden.
Yes. So is he enjoying it?
So far.
So
we haven't had bad weather yet.
Yeah. So what do the employees do at the recycling center? Because I know the recycling center is self-serve. You pull up, take your things, and you pretty much, take them to the places. So what is an employee? How can an employee help me?
Well, the whole concept is based on that it's self-serve, and the patron puts their item in the appropriate bin, but then staff has to go around and make sure that is what really happened. And we're constantly taking out contamination, what we call contamination, things that got in there that shouldn't be. But then also, when we're close to the public, then they still have to process the glass. So they crush the glass, and that takes a while. They have to palletize the electronics. They have to sort the batteries from alkaline versus NiCad. They have to go purchase Gaylord boxes and sometimes pallets. There's a lot that they do. Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes.
Things that we don't even know goes on behind. Now, you mentioned crushing glass, and I know you do that after hours because of kind of the hazards. I mean, glass crushing is loud.
It's loud.
That's the main thing. But do you separate the glass? Should we bring our glass in separated as far as color?
It's easier if you do have it separated already in your car. That way you'll be out at the center less time.
Okay.
But yes, it has to be color separated.
Okay. Well, I have noticed, and I have taken advantage of this, that there are some unique bottles out there as well. So those are set aside on a special shelf right next to it. Do a lot of your patrons realize that?
Some do. Some are regulars. People who do arts and crafts, event planners. They come in routinely and get bottles, and we kind of know what they want, so we set them aside. But people call me every day and say, "Hey, I'm having a wedding and I need 30 clear bottles." But we also have a contractor in Lamar, Missouri area, and he makes countertops out of a resin and crushed glass.
Oh.
And so we save all of our cobalt blue wine bottles for him.
Oh, well, that's interesting to know. I didn't see. Again, we're learning something new. That's what I tell you. There's always something new. Well, when people think about recycling, you think about the general items that everyone knows about: the newspaper, paper, cardboard, glass, and plastic. What other types of things can be recycled at the recycling center?
People don't realize that we take styrofoam packing peanuts.
Okay.
If they're clean and they're not dirty and stuck to a bunch of tape, we take the those new air pillows.
Oh yeah.
Packing materials, the bubble wrap. If it's still a bubble.
Okay.
Don't let your kids smash them all first. Pop them all first and then bring them to us.
I'm curious, do you reuse those and put them out for other people, or do you recycle those?
Kind of both.
Okay.
The packing peanuts go back out to patrons as packing peanuts, and so does the foam wrap and the bubble wrap. Some of those air pillows, if they've been popped or they're not reusable, then they go with the plastic bags.
Oh, that would make sense.
And so then those are recycled. They're not reused.
Was it Kroger, or there was a food store, one of the major food stores is going to stop using plastic by a certain year. Did you hear that? It starts out in California. But
I've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And some that are banned by cities or states or counties, and some grocery stores have initiated themselves. For whatever reason, state of Missouri passed a preemptive ban.
Oh, so we can't
So if Joplin wanted to ban plastic bags, they could not by current state statute.
Okay, so we just have to be recyclable friendly and take our bags ourselves. And it seems like all the stores sell those reusable ones. If you'd rather, if you don't have
Sure.
them, you can, purchase them cheaply. And
Sure.
I've even seen them at the recycling center. If somebody has too many, I've seen them turned in there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so that's a nice way. So, what other kind of things do you have at the recycling center?
A lot of people don't realize we take cooking oil. We take it if it's vegetable based or animal. If it's bacon grease or hamburger grease, we'll take it. Or if it's Crisco or canola oil. If you fried your turkey in it, if you didn't fry your turkey in it,
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter when it comes in clean or dirty that they're mixed, or are they?
Right, they can be mixed.
Okay. And what do you do with those?
Well, there's a company, Brooks Grease, and they come periodically with their big truck, and they literally suck it out of my container. The container belongs to them. And then once I get $25 worth, then they send the city a check for $25.
Well, there you go.
It takes me a while to get $25 worth of grease.
Right. Well, and that's a misnomer, I think. When I talk to different people, including my dad, he doesn't live in this area, but there's that perception that we're making money off recycling, because I think the thing that we do is collect our aluminum cans and take them and cash them in. So therefore, everything that we bring, somebody's making money off of. Is that true?
It is. We make negative money sometimes.
Okay.
The markets go up and down for cardboard, office paper, and newspaper, even plastic bottles, but they go up and down.
Okay.
And so I benefit from my contract. I benefit when the markets are way up, but I'm not punished when the markets are down.
Okay.
My contractor absorbs that negative money, if you will.
Okay.
But I never get paid for plastic bottles. I always have to pay the contractor to take the plastic bottles.
Just because it's a hard thing to recycle?
No, because he's driving air. He's not driving it's not dense.
Okay.
So it has to get to his place, then he has to bale it and store it until he has a truckload, and then hope somebody will buy it.
Yeah, I think the whole chain of recycling is very interesting, and a lot of people don't realize where it goes. And so one day we need to bring out the whole flow chart of how it starts and where it goes, and then how it gets back into the system.
The distribution is, and that's one of the things that kills the profit margin, is just shipping it, just getting it there.
Right, getting it to the right place to do with it whatever they're going to do. So because a lot of materials are now, a lot of products are being made out of recyclable materials, if they can afford to.
And if their machinery can take it. If you get just a little bit of contamination in there, it can mess up certain machines.
Okay. Well, that's quite a bit. Well, we're talking a little bit about the recycling center and its uniqueness. Where is the recycling center? Maybe if somebody hasn't been to it or they're new to town, where are you located?
It's hard to describe. It's because when I say a street, like, well, what street? Kind of like who's on first, you know? It's on a street?
It's on a street.
Yeah. So I say it's on the north side of the Public Works Center. Sometimes that helps. I say it's near North Middle School. It's not too far from A and Maiden Lane.
Yeah.
But you know what usually people identify with? They go, oh, you mean where the cops fill up their cars with gas?
Oh, well, they are paying attention then.
Yeah, they're paying.
I use the Casey's there. I use Second and Maiden Lane.
Yeah.
2 more blocks north, and then just a couple blocks to the east is kind of how I describe it.
Yes.
So yeah, that works. So well, you mentioned gas, and I did want to bring that up. I did, as at the city, I do take a lot of phone calls, and I did get that question, and I may not have directed them correctly. You take gas at the recycling center?
We'll take gas, gasoline, kerosene.
Old gas. I did not know that.
Diesel, whatever. We'll take it.
Okay, I'm bringing you some because
we take it in conjunction with our household hazardous waste facility.
Yeah, don't pour it in the ground. Don't put it. Yeah, it's really volatile to the ground. So in the groundwater. So, okay. Well, what are your hours at the recycling center?
Well, Tuesday and Thursday is noon to 6.
Okay.
And how my old boss used to remember is the T days.
Oh.
Tuesday and Thursday means it's late.
Oh, there you go.
So Tuesday and Thursday is noon to 6, and then Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday is 9 to 3.
9 to 3. Okay, so you've got some good hours there, a good overlap. And then Saturday is a busy day. I know a lot of us, Monday through Friday workers are there a lot. I've been there in the afternoon on a weekday, and it's pretty busy then, too. So there's not a non-busy time anymore, is there?
Or even bad weather won't slow people down.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good thing, that we still want them to recycle. So we talked a little bit about the cooking oil. What about TVs, microwaves, some of those white goods?
I probably get more calls about that than anything.
So
televisions, we still take all electronics. We do take televisions, but because of how my contract is with the company that recycles it, I do have to charge $10 for every television, and I don't care if it's an analog or a flat screen or a projection or really something cool from the 60s.
Yeah,
doesn't matter if it's heavy. It's $10. And we only take checks and money orders.
Okay.
And that is a bit of a burden to some people, but if they know ahead of time, then they can make arrangements. And then we do charge $10 for every computer monitor and every microwave oven.
Okay.
Everything else is free.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good deal, actually.
And it's based on how my contract is and how the bids came back to us.
Sure. Well, and there's another area that's kind of gotten to be very popular is your documents. People have a lot of mail these days, and it has their names on it and things like that. So how are people able to recycle those?
Well, and it's not just new things. I get calls from people all the time whose grandfather died, and they find out they've got a lifetime supply of receipts and bank deposits and taxes, and that's what taxes worry me the most, because it's got the Social Security number on it.
Oh, sure.
Even medical bills, believe it or not, will have a lot. Even to this day, will still have your Social Security number on it.
Yeah, that was the identifier for driver's license for a lot of a lot of things. Yeah,
for a lot of years. Even students in college. When I went to college, my student ID number was my Social Security number.
True.
I remember
we're dating ourselves, but yeah.
But we have 3 polycarts at the recycling center that belong to a shredding company, and they look like a trash cart, but they have a restricted opening on the top.
Okay.
So you can only, in fact, you can't put your hand in there, and it's slanted too. So, but the paper will go in, and it's locked, has a padlock on it.
Okay.
And then the company comes about every other week, maybe a week and a half, and then they switch me out with with empty containers. And then that's taken to Springfield, and it's shredded there.
Okay. Okay. And that's a secured shredding. So. And now I know you have an event coming up, and I might ask Sean or Maddie in the control room if you could show that flyer that we have and tell us about a shredding event.
Well, a lot of people are happy with my containers. They see it go in there, but a lot of people would rather see it actually shredded.
Or they have a lot.
Or they have a lot, a truckload. And so we will have that company, Computer Recycling Center from Springfield, and they will be on site with their mobile truck. I guess all trucks are mobile. I don't know. So they'll be there, and so you'll get to watch it go in the cart, and then the arm dumped it into the truck, and there's a closed circuit TV, so you can look on the screen and you can watch it being shredded.
But kind of self-satisfying in some cases, you know, getting rid of old documents and cleaning out the house and the files. I know I've done it. Now, I've always thought, you could just rip your mail and that would be okay. No?
Did you not see that movie back in the day with the Iran crisis and everything, where they had little kids taping it all back together? I forget the name of the movie.
Yes.
But people will do that.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to tear it up if you want, and maybe put some out one week and some out another week.
That's a good idea. Yeah, if you
want to go through all that trouble.
But shredders, and that's just it. A lot of people have a personal shredder, or in businesses they have shredders. But again, this event is great if you have quite a bit of information, because you do offer that service, at the recycling center all the time. So I've seen a lot of people use that, and myself have used it. So it's good. So,
but you're right. If you have a lot of volume, many boxes, you may not want to sit there and.
Right.
Put
now,
it in the cart.
Who's sponsoring the shredding event?
Well, thanks for asking. I do have a funder this time. The city is paying for a lot of it, but also Region M Solid Waste Management District is paying for the majority of it, and then they get their money from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources.
Okay. Well, I know Region M has been very helpful for us in this area. They've sponsored a lot of things. They've created a lot of awareness about recycling and just taking good care of the earth, so to speak. But our police department's also involved. I know our Joplin police officer, Jason Francis, was going to be here, but he had a case. And some of the things that he tells us are pretty amazing.
He spoke at our Solid Waste Commission meeting, and I had to keep shutting my mouth. I couldn't believe all the things that happened just in Joplin. You think, oh, that would happen in Chicago or something, but it's just Joplin. The problem is you may have something stolen in Joplin, and then those bad actors move to Wichita or Kansas City or even Florida. Right, and they take it with them. And so then when it gets out of the jurisdiction, the police have problems tracking it all down. But yeah, just because something's stolen in Joplin, your Social Security number and your name can show up on someone's ID in New York.
Oh.
It's not like it stays in Joplin either.
Right. Well,
so it's a bigger problem than people realize.
Well, and one of the things that, in reading some of the information he's given is even our return address can be a piece of the puzzle. Like you said, they may be piecing together paper, but they're also piecing together just our profile. That they might keep, the name of our hospital, the name of maybe our investment firm or a bank, and along with our name, and they start, and we may have slipped one piece of paper and by, with some other critical piece of information, an account number or something,
or a photocopy of your driver's license. When I went to Europe in the summer, I kept a photocopy of my driver's license, of my medical card, of my visa, and I had it all, with me in the suitcase. And when I got home, I'm like, oh boy, I better get rid of this.
Yeah,
it's just all there on one piece of paper.
Right, they could really find me and become me.
Right. It's got my picture even.
To Mary Anne Phillips. I don't know. Now, that would be great. We definitely have some recycling going on. Speaking of which, moving on to back to the recycling side of it, curbside recycling is something that we've been working on at the City of Joplin, and it seems to be going pretty well. What do you think?
I worked a lot of years to get curbside recycling. It's not a new concept. It's been in the United States for over 40 years. But Missouri and Kansas have such cheap landfill prices that there's not a lot of incentive.
Okay.
If people recycle, it's because they want to recycle. They want to create jobs. They want to save natural resources. They want to save it from the landfill. It has nothing to do with any money incentives or incentives to reduce their trash. But everything, especially in Joplin, you got to start somewhere.
Right.
You got to walk before you can run. And so I don't get complaints on the service. I just personally wish we had more people signed up.
Well, and that's something that we've almost 2 years old now. I guess we're over twos. Yeah.
Over.
So it's taken some time, but I think people are catching on. And I know when I get calls about new people moving to town, they ask about it. So you're right. It's going on in a lot of different places. And here in Joplin, I didn't realize that the landfill prices kind of were lower rated, and so people are not charged by bulk. Or that. I guess that's
volume.
how the trash. Yeah, by volume. I guess.
Right.
And that's how trash companies charge, right? They do an estimate.
In some cities, the more you put out, the more it's going to cost you. Whereas in Joplin, you can put out unlimited.
Yeah.
And it's still the same price.
Right.
So there's no incentive.
In the blue poly cart.
And if it doesn't fit in your blue poly cart, you can put a bag next to it.
Yeah, there you go.
Or a couch next to it.
I know. The bulky items is a great pickup. But curbside recycling is something $4.75 right now.
Currently,
yeah,
yes.
Currently, and it is a great bargain. So it's something that, you can do all that paper, plastic, cardboard, and newspaper. Those are the main ones, right?
And metal cans, aluminum cans, and steel cans.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the cardboard always amazes me. There's on the Republic site. Yeah, they're our contractor, and so I think they have a good website that you could go to and easily find. It's republicservices.com/Joplin.
Right. And soon, practically every residential mailbox in town will get a postcard. The Department of Natural Resources feels very strongly about helping us with our curbside program, so they funded this postcard. So it's going to go out in the mailbox here pretty soon. And it's got all the information on there, and the pricing, and the website, and the phone numbers.
Sure. So they might be interested in looking into it, and you can try it for a year, and then if for some reason.
Good point. You can always stop it if you want, or if you find your family's not cooperating with you.
Right.
Well, you always stop it.
I live out of town, so I don't have curbside, so I'm doing it at garage base. The bins, and it works, but it can make a mess. Well, takes up room, not make a mess. It just takes up room.
Yeah, bulky.
So,
and that's another good point. Our Joplin Recycling Center is open to everybody. So So it doesn't matter where you live, you're still welcome to come to the recycling center.
And that's important because, again, it serves a good purpose. It serves a really good purpose. Well, there's a favorite spot I like to go to right when I get to the recycling center. It's what I call the swap shop. I don't know if that's what you call it. Tell me about that area. Or tell our viewers. I know about it, but yeah.
That was sort of our claim to fame when we even first started. We saw, actually, I stole the idea from Branson.
Well, there's nothing new under the sun.
No. And they had a wonderful shed and a table and shelves, and mostly for books, but then they started expanding, and we started with just books. It just broke my heart to recycle a book if it was still usable. But we try to triage it, though. If it's damaged, if it smells, they'll come in kind of moldy or nicotine smelling if they've been in a house for a long time, or if it's just like the tax code of 1982.
Irrelevant.
Who cares? Get rid of it. Or, hula hoop for dummies. I don't know. I just made that one up. But we police that bookshelf. But then just tchotchkes. I got a little figurine the other day, from probably the 50s or 60s. Yeah. It was just the cutest little thing.
Yeah. That somebody else did not want, but it's somebody else's treasure. Right.
Pots, pans, we get a lot of things like
the coffee decanter. You broke your coffee decanter for your Mr. Coffee, and they no longer make that model. You can't find it, and you'd have to order online. Go there, you'll probably find it. I'm always surprised at how many of those types of things come in, of just kind of replacement pieces of things.
Right.
And parts. Parts and egg cartons.
Oh, that's another one of our claim to fame, and we didn't steal that from anybody either. It just started happening. It's amazing how many people have chickens in the area, or teachers use it for arts and crafts or sorting buttons or whatever. And we keep all kinds, so not just the cardboard, but the styrofoam and the plastic also.
Okay.
And we segregate those, so whichever ones you want, then you can come get them.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're at the recycling center, just kind of wander over that way. It's always interesting to see what people are bringing, and you might find a neat bottle, because that's where the neat bottles are too. So I like I said, that's kind of one of my treasure hunts that I like to go on every now and then. So another call I get a lot of is cans of paint. I went to this house or bought a house and I left some paint and it's still full. Can I just put it out with my trash?
You can, after it has hardened. After it has solidified.
So put the lid out and wait for a year and a half?
And keep stirring it, and keep the cat out of it, and your grandkid, right.
Yeah.
You can speed it up with cat litter or sawdust.
Okay. And you don't have those at the...
We keep sawdust at the recycling center. Okay. Because we get that in bulk for just a couple dollars. And then we keep cat litter buckets for people.
Okay, so
we put the sawdust in the buckets, and then we give the buckets of sawdust to people to take home.
I've worked at the city 15 years, and I'm learning more today about the recycling center than reading the brochure. I mean, this brochure is great. Some of the things we're talking about is in the brochure. Tell them about this. This is something that they should have gotten, our residents should have gotten already, right? This brochure?
They should have, but if they want their own, I'll mail one out to them, or they can pick one up at City Hall or the recycling center. I try to keep them at different places like the library, but it's a constant battle to keep it stocked. Practically everything you want to know about trash or recycling is in there.
Obviously, you can't read it on the screen, but this is a list of different categories of things that you're curious about. You're curious about, what do I do with needles and sharps, or again, paint, metal, leaf pickup program, grass clippings. Let's talk. This is fall. Grass clippings and leaves.
We almost missed leaf pickup, didn't we? Talk about it.
Yeah,
our favorite.
Yes. Well, I know it's the Parks Department. They have our brochure up. Look at that.
Right.
All that stuff. So Restore's on there. That's another treasure in our area.
Oh, yes. Joplin's very fortunate to have a Restore.
For those who may not know, Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity runs a store called Restore, and you can take building supplies out there, things that maybe if you're replacing cabinets and your old cabinets are still in good shape, take them out there that somebody else could use them, reuse them, so to speak.
And furniture? Appliances?
Yeah. Little things that maybe you bought, 5 whatevers, and you only needed 3, and so you can take the extra 2, whatever that is. So,
and when stores close out certain items, instead of sending them back to the manufacturer who actually doesn't want them anyway,
right, if they're closed out,
or sending it to the trash, then they'll bring them out to the restore.
Yeah, so you can find those. So yeah, we're kind of bouncing around, but yeah, again, this brochure, and then I got excited about seeing restore. So
okay, leaf pickup.
Leaf pickup. That's it.
We'll start the first Monday after Thanksgiving, and actually it's the Parks Department and Street Department.
Okay.
They split the town.
That's right. That's right. And it starts the Monday after Thanksgiving.
If it's good weather and all the equipment works and
everything, yeah, exactly. And you'll be getting notices from the city about that.
Oh yes, it'll be very well publicized.
But in the meantime, isn't there a place where people can take their leaves if they want to get rid of them now, or in upcoming months or weeks?
The city compost facility is open to everybody, and it's open 24/7. And actually, I was just out there, I think it was last week, and the guys were out there moving it all over to a pile, and then they screened it, and they put it in a machine, and literally the machine just shakes.
Oh.
And so all the good compost falls down, and then the trash kind of stays up on the screen.
Okay.
So they separate it, and so all the finished screened compost is out there right now, and it is beautiful.
Where is out
beautiful. There? It's a secret. It's hard to find, just like the recycling center. You go north on Schifferdecker Avenue all the way, and then that comes to a T. So on the east, it's called Zora. On the west, it's called Peace Church Avenue.
Okay.
So you go on Peace Church Avenue, and then you're going north again. Then the first street on your left is called Eddy, E-D-D-Y.
Okay.
Turn left on Eddy, and there's a sign that says Turkey Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant. So the compost, there's a big field, and then there's the compost facility, then there's a wastewater plant.
Okay.
So if you go to the wastewater plant, you've gone too far.
And the compost facility is on the right side as you drive in? Or is it on the left?
It's on the left side of Eddy.
Left side of Eddy. Okay. So that's
the same side as the wastewater plant.
Okay. Same side. Okay. Well, those are, that area is a very good thing. If you want compost for your fields,
free
that's
compost,
the place to go. So, well, we're wrapping up already. It's always a pleasure to have you out here. We can talk, you and I didn't think we even needed notes. We could just talk and talk and talk, as people can tell. But we do want to remind you that the Shred event is November 17th. It's a Saturday from 10 to 2 at the Recycling Center. That's available, as well as the Recycling Center is open throughout the year, rain or shine. And the hours are listed on our website and joplinmo.org, and we encourage everyone to go out there and check out the swap shop, bring the recycling, or better yet, sign up for curbside recycling. So, well, I want to thank you, Mary Anne, again, another show, another great day, learning more about the Recycling Center.
Thanks for talking about trash.
Oh, hey, I'll always talk trash. Thank you. This is Lynn Onstot signing off from the show Joplin Insider. I'll see you next time.